Welcome back, players and collectors, to my channel, Ren's Collectibles. And if you're new here, I'm Ren. Thank you so much for joining me today. And we are diving back into Nostalgix TCG. So if you take a look at the screen down below, well, you know what? First of all, let's appreciate this sick playmat. Look at this booster box dragon all up on this playmat, looking super good. And my very first Nostalgix playmat, so very happy about that. I absolutely love that it has everything you need on here to play the game, which I am going to be doing some videos very, very soon on teaching to play the game. Even going to kind of teach you just a little bit today, but today is not really about teaching the game. It's about going through this deck right here, Nostalgix Starter Deck Divine Rule. One of 6 starter decks that released with the Kickstarter, and we are going to take a peek at it. This is my favorite deck so far. Like, when it comes to the starter decks, this is by far my favorite. Has a little bit more to do with the, some of the characters within, but it's a very good deck to play. So it even says on here, long live the Seraph. As Shimmer Seraph, you command an army of holy fighters like Valkyrian, Sarah, and Athena that pack a punch and heal your hero in surprising ways. Long live the Seraph. So this deck right here is kind of built around being able to take little shots here and there at your opponent, kind of dwindle them down, while also healing yourself back up. And I know that might sound confusing if you've never played the game, you don't know how to play the game, whatever, but trust me, if you like decks that are able to heal themselves and kind of like regenerate health type of thing, this is the deck for you. Look at the box though. I mean, phenomenal artwork, phenomenal job. It's very different from your traditional deck boxes, which I absolutely love. I love the foiling that is on the Nostalgix name right there. It makes it super nice. If you wanted to display these, would make a great display piece. But one of the bigger things that I really like about just like the whole display of this is, if I can get the wrapper off, it's got the pull tab right here. So there's no way to like really tamper with it. Hopefully it stays that way. But we're going to go ahead and rip her open. This is the first time I've opened a physical deck from Nostalgix. I've been playing a ton online on Tabletop Simulator. If you've got Tabletop Simulator, you can download the client there for Nostalgix for free. And if you've never played Tabletop Simulator, you don't have it, 20 bucks on Steam, which is not bad. You can play almost every card game that's out there right now. A lot of the Kickstarter games are on there. Let me put that down there for right now. Metazoo's on there. There's just a ton. Cryptic, Titan TCG. I mean, you can play just about anything. But we're going to look at this deck. We're going to look at the contents within, which I see some dice already. Fantastic. We've got, a little rule book. How to play. Now, the thing with these is these are tiny. They're very hard to read. For someone like me who's, aging faster than I would like to age, then, eyesight's going bad. These are hard to read. But they do have a PDF available online for free. You can go download. Highly recommend doing that. I mean, look at that. The honeycomb cardboard here, just really nice, well put together. The packaging is definitely solid. But it comes with the rule book. You're going to want one of those. You get some dice, which I know it kind of looks maybe a little intimidating, but don't worry, it is not that intimidating. These are 10-sided dice. I think they're all 10-sided dice. Yep. They're all 10-sided dice, and that's because the standard hero comes with 40 life. So you can use these to like count down or do whatever you got to do. I would recommend, if you don't have, I would recommend getting some regular dice as well. I prefer those just to, keep track of life and count damage and everything else. Maybe it's just because I gotten used to it from Magic, but that's what I prefer. So if you are of that same sort, then make sure you pick up some of those dice too. Something like this, a tower of dice like this cost, what does this cost? $7 right there from my local game shop. That's pretty cheap. But here we have our hero on top, Shimmer Seraph. So your hero will go right here, card slot. It even says it right, big bold letters here, hero. But this is pretty much the person, the character that you're going to be trying to destroy. Wow, that is real. That's like some thick cardstock too, man. It's not like super thick, but it's nice. It's good quality. And this is the only way you can get the hero as a foil card. So all 6 heroes featured in all 6 different decks are usually non-foil in booster packs and boxes and such. But this is the only way you can get them foil. But essentially, with this deck here, Shimmer Seraph, once per turn, you may pay 1 mana to restore 1 heart to any fighter or hero. That means 1 life. You can put 1 life, or I forget what the actual terminology. If it's life, it's health points, whatever it is. But it's 1 life. Attacks, health. Yeah, it's called health. So that's all you need to know on that. But you have 40 health. Some heroes have attacks. Some of them have abilities. So just kind of different heroes to choose from, different kind of game style you wanna play. But we get Shimmer Seraph as our hero. We got the Valkyrian line, non-hollow, which is kind of cool too. Definitely gonna be collecting some of those for my binder, my Valkyrian binder that I'm putting together. Valhalla, which you obviously need. Fairn. So Fairn evolves into Valhalla, who evolves into Valkyrian, but again, just more like healer type fighters. So Valkyrian, you know, you get Holy and Life Touch. When this fighter deals damage, heal your hero by the same amount. So this is a great combo to have right here. That's my favorite Nostalgix character too, by the way, Valkyrian. You get Valkyrian out on the playing field here, and you use Holy Smite. You hit for 9. You heal 9 as well, as long as you hit no, it's just deals damage, so heal your hero by the same amount. So if you get Valkyrian out and you're smacking for 9, you're healing your hero by 9 every single time. I mean, that's hard to compete with. It essentially makes it to where you have to take Valkyrian out of the battlefield, or kind of get her to stop attacking in some way in order to really start doing damage to your hero, who also, by the way, can heal itself and heal fighters. So very, very tough to combat. But it also has Resurrection. Revive a voided fighter of yours. You can't attack with this Valkyrian again until after your next turn. So it has like a recharge stage. If you think of like Pokemon, you use some of those moves where it says like you can't attack next turn. That's essentially this. But you can pull a fighter back from the void, which I believe you can do stage 2 and 3 fighters with, so that would be kind of cool. Athena, and we have Sarah as well. So Sarah evolves into Athena, who evolves into Shimmer. Well, I guess it doesn't really evolve into Shimmer Seraph, but Sarah into Athena. So, and this is the thing too, when this is played, you gain 4 health. When this is played, you gain 2 health. Judgment Slash, deal or restore 2 health to any fighter if you hit. Well, not if you hit, it's just when you use the attack. Deal 2 damage to 2 different targets. Choose 2 friendly fighters and heal them by 2 each. So imagine if you're playing this game and you've got, you know, Athena and you got Valkyrian up here. This alone, this combo right here, you're playing, okay, attack for 9. I'm going to heal 9. You attack 2 different fighters for 2. And then you heal 2. So if these have damage counters on them, you heal them or yourself. And then you can pay 1 mana to heal any fighter or yourself again. Like right there, you just recovered. What was that 12 health with just 3 fighters, or 2 fighters and a hero. So this is a great deck for wanting to play like that resurrection fight combo style, which I think is awesome. I really like it. Lucky Frog, each player draws 1 more card at the start of their turns. So Lucky Frog stuff is really good, but it also helps your opponent, so you have to keep those in mind. This is a great card to have. Very low life, which means it's usually going to get, 1 or 2 shot and then be done, but it has Charge, which is essentially haste in Magic, where as soon as you put it on the field, it doesn't have that summoning sickness. so it can attack right away, and it does 6 damage, which is really good, especially you can get it earlier in the game. Mirage. This fighter can use attacks of any opponent's fighter. So right there, they have, you know, I don't know, Stack of Fox out there. You're playing against Stack of Fox. Well, this doesn't really help you with Stack of Fox because he's not a fox himself, but you keep copying that attack. You keep creating tokens for yourself. You start, you know, building up on your own damage. Could be a good way to go. Rowlet. Basically, Rowlet is really good for sacrificing to create more mana. So during your turn, you may sacrifice this fighter. If you do, gain mana equivalent to this fighter's health until the end of turn. So if you find a way to increase Rowlet's health beyond 1, then you can essentially get more mana. But Panbu, another great option here. Restore 1 health at the end of your turn. This fighter takes 1 less damage from attacks. So a good level, entry-level type fighter right there. But we got Aegisect and Metamix too. So these are a little bit, they're not like high cost. They're pretty low cost, but good for defensive purposes, essentially. If you wanted to play Gamatron, this is the way to do it. You got to have the other 2 as well to summon Gamatron, but these are some decent defensive style fighters here. So Divine Armor does 4, but give fighter 2 health. Divine Rebirth, restore 5 health to any fighter. Very good. Tower Fall, deal damage equal to your opponent's hand size to all their fighters. So if you got an opponent, if you hold on to this card and you got an opponent who's got, 5-6 damage, or 5-6 cards in their hands, that's a pretty big hit to take, So you kind of want to watch out for those, and they can use them to you too if they have that in their deck, and you have a 5-card hand. You've got, I don't know, Valhalla out there and whoever else. I mean, you're pretty much going to kill. Now, the good thing with this style deck is as long as they don't die, so if you have 7 cards in your hand, Tower Fall plays against you, your Valkyrian takes 7 damage, as long as you survive that turn, you can essentially, depending on what you have on your field, heal it back to full health. I mean, it's kind of amazing. Alternate timeline, look at the top 2 cards of your deck, draw 1 and void 1. It's a good way to just kind of peek at some cards and see what you got. But Divine Blessing, restore 5 health to anything, and you have 4 copies of that in here. Yeah, this is definitely a regeneration type of deck. Draw 1 card, restore 5 health to your opponent's hero. It's a little bit of a payoff there. You get 1 card, but their opponent gets 5 health. If you're up late in the game and you feel like they don't really have a way to come back, you're managing the game well, that might be a bad, or not be a bad card to play. But it's probably essentially better off if you play it right towards the beginning of the game where you haven't really done any damage to the opponent's hero. Nope. This is a surprise card, which when your opponent casts a spell, counter it. I did learn the hard way that it means literally only spells and not other surprises as well. That was one of the things I had to learn and take into consideration, but it's fun. We got reverse. I do like these. Negate a surprise's action. The player who owned that surprise draws a card. So very good to negate some really good surprises at the end of the day. I recommend having a couple more copies of that if you can in your deck. If you guys are into building and editing decks. Save the day. When a fighter is played, you may pay 5 of your hero's heart to void it and negate any effects that playing it would have had. So this is good for, you think they're about to summon Gamatron or something, that's a good one to have already face down, ready to go. I highly recommend, honestly, if you're playing this deck, I recommend if you pull this card, put it in your surprises as early as you can. You never know when you're going to need it. But let's just say you start to get behind the ball a little bit. They play, I don't know, let's say they play Valkyrian. You just void it. You go, yeah, nope, surprise, save the day. I'm going to pay 5 of my hero's health, but I'm going to get rid of your Valkyrian, so you can't play it anymore. And it kind of saves you from that. So I'm just saying, that's definitely worth having, or especially early on if you can. When a fighter would be destroyed by damage, instead is left with 1 health, healed of conditions, and it is immune to everything the rest of this turn. Phenomenal cards to have as well. Again, you get these surprises. Highly recommend you put them in play as soon as you can. Team Uniform. Team Uniform. This is a phenomenal card. Let me just tell you. This helped me win my very first match. I mean, this was like exclusively the reason I won my very first match. I pulled this card in my opening hand draw, and I was able to attach it to Sarah. I believe it was Sarah. Yeah. Yeah, I attached it to this like early on in that game. So you gain +1 attack for each fighter and token you have in play. As long as you've got like a big playing field, you're doing golden. If you're playing somebody's playing Stack of Fox and they have this attached, you are in a lot of trouble. But I had, for 2 costs, I threw out Sarah, 4 health, does 2 damage and restores 2. I attached it. Well, I had a bunch of Farn and Panbu and whatever else, so I had almost a full bench of fighters. And this is pretty early on. We're talking like turn 4 or 5. I had like 3 or 4 fighters out on the field, including my Sarah. And, you're getting +4 attack on something that already does 6 damage now. Yeah, early on in the game, that was a killer. That was an absolute killer. He just couldn't, come back from that. And those are the times where it's really tough to play the game, because it could be hard to overcome stuff like that. But it was very good for me at the time. Bubble Shield. When your opponent attacks his target, prevent any effects of the attack except damage of the attack itself directly. So, if you want to negate effects, you think somebody's playing a deck that utilizes effects, those are good to have. Wooden Boomerang. These are all equipment, by the way. I don't know if I said that or not. All things you can attach to your characters. Wooden Boomerang does, this target can ignore taunt fighters. Its attacks do 2 less damage, though. So, equipment on heroes is destroyed if the hero is attacked by, or is damaged by attack. So, essentially, I don't know, if I have my Valkyrian out here and I want it to avoid, Stumpkin and whatever else that, my opponent's playing, I'm going to attach Wooden Boomerang. Now, it's only doing 7 damage instead of 9, but 7's still, still a pretty big number. And I still get to heal that amount, so... And it can ignore taunt, so I don't have to fight its taunt fighter. I can have my other fighters direct attacks to the taunt fighter, and whatever else my opponent's trying to set up, I can use Valkyrian now to attack. So, another good equipment to have. Tutorial level. These are the arenas you can play here. During the draw step of each player's turn, that player draws until they have 5 cards in their hand. If a player already has 5 or more cards in the hand, they simply draw 1. Good in combination with Tower Fall. So, overall, this deck is phenomenal. I love it. I think it's a very well put together deck. Zaban team did fantastic when balancing out these decks. And highly recommend getting it. Like I said, my favorite deck so far. I have played a bunch of other decks. I think there's only one starter deck yet I have to play that I just haven't gotten around to playing it yet. But out of all of them, this one is definitely my favorite. So make sure you check all the other decks out as well. As I get the decks in hand in person, I'm going to be doing like deck reviews on them as well. So if you like that, make sure you smash that thumbs up button, comment down below what you think of the deck reviews. Let me know which deck you want to see next. So my next deck review is probably going to be Cluster Fox, but I have some more decks on their way in. So as long as I can get them in and you would like to see a different deck being talked about, let me know down below and I will make sure it happens. But thank you once again, ladies and gentlemen, for hanging out with me today. Hope you enjoyed it, and we will see you guys in the next video.